Hi, my name's Dustin. I'm the engineering manager here at Escape Trailer. Today we're in an E23 and we're talking about the Victron Power System. We market this product as the Zap Pack, but we're going to talk about the system components, how it all works, and some of the hardware that you will see in your Zap Pack. But why don't we get into the details and talk about the system display and remote control panel first. Let's start with switching your system on. This is the Victron Digital Multi-Control. It allows you to bring power into your charger inverter, and it is controlled from this panel. You'll see 3 toggle positions on your switch. There's charger only, off, its current status, and on. Charger only means that when you're connected to shore power, the shore power going into your Multi-Plus will go directly to your batteries and then run any AC loads that are running through your transfer switch. In this case, if you were to remove the shore power, you would not be able to run your AC loads in the trailer. You would have to switch the toggle into on, which turns your inverter on, allowing you to run AC loads when you're disconnected from shore power. So let's go ahead and switch on the unit into charger only. Right now, you'll see that there is a number on this display, which is the input amperage. So this is adjustable by toggling this dial one way or the other. You can ramp it up depending on what your breaker size is at your shore connection. Right now, we're on a 15 amp breaker, so just to be safe, to make sure I don't cause that breaker to switch off, I'm going to set the input shore power current to 10 amps. Right now, the mains is on. It shows that the batteries are charging in bulk mode. And then over on this side, you can see that our shore power input is at 960 watts coming in through our shore connection. The status of the Multi-Plus is in bulk mode. And right now, we have an AC load of 35 watts, which is the light that's running next to me. You'll also see the status of the lithium batteries, which are at a 94% charge, and the current going into them is 56 amps. If I play with this number on this dial, you'll see that the shore power current will go down when I drive this number down. Conversely, the shore power drops when I drop it to 6 amps, and if I toggle it up, your shore power goes up. So what you can do is allow you to, our trailers are set at 30 amps. You can bring this all the way up to 30 if you have that capabilities. So we just exceeded what the breaker allowed, and it just popped the shore breaker. So this was a good test to see. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to go and reset that breaker. So I went and reset the breaker on our shore power input. It's still in charger only mode. This is why this dial is important if you have a poor shore power connection where your input current is unreliable when you go to higher values. You may want to toggle this down, and then you can use your inverter to supplement the extra charge, the extra power to run any of your AC loads that exceed the 8 amps that you have from shore power. So we're going to go ahead and switch this into inverter mode, which will pull shore power and then also supplement power from our batteries. And then we'll run some AC loads to show how this looks on your display. So I turned on the Houghton air conditioner heat pump in air conditioner mode, and you can see that the inverter is flashing, which means it's in assisting mode. If you look at it, we have a shore power input of 550 watts, which is still set by our input current from shore power. So if we were to dial this up a bit to 10, our shore power would go up here, and then you can see our AC load is 930 watts. So our shore power input is less than what our actual AC loads are, which means that the power is coming from somewhere and it's coming from your batteries. So that's what the assist function in the Multi-Plus accomplishes. So if your shore power input is not enough to run your AC loads, your batteries will supplement, and you should be just fine to run up to your 30 amp limit from our batteries. If you have a more high current input from shore power, you could dial this up to 30, which is our limit for escape trailer. And then if you don't have any shore power, you can run your system entirely off of your inverter, which needs to be in the on position in inverter mode. And that means that there's zero shore power input and all of the power is coming from your batteries. And you should be able to run your air conditioner when you're in inverter mode. The time depends on how much the temperature differential is between the inside and the outside of the trailer. Also the number of people in the trailer, they'll add a bunch of heat, and the size of your solar panel bank and batteries included in your power system. All these will factor into the runtime of your AC loads when you're running off of short battery systems when you're boondocking. But let's take a look at the control board and the inverter charger underneath the bench. So here's your Victron power system installed in the E23 bench. Over here, we have your lithium battery bank. You can get 200 to 400 amp hours of lithium battery. Right here is your multi-plus inverter charger. It's a 3000 VA unit, which provides the charging for your onboard lithium batteries and also is your inverter. At the back, we have a board mounted with our main battery disconnect switch, solar controller, our shunt, and some disconnect switches for our solar panels and our DC system. Also is Servo GX, which is our main hub, which is our communication central collection point, which outputs all the data to your display that we talked about previously. But it's kind of hard to see in here, so let's take a look at this board on a table and get into the details on the components. So let's take a look at the components on this board. You have your main battery disconnect switch. You'll notice right next to it is what we call the cold start button. What this is for is when you're making your battery connection, when you do not have shore power, what you need to do is pre-charge your multi-plus for about 3 to 5 seconds. So all you do is you just hold this down. All of your DC loads should be off when you're doing this. And you just pre-charge your multi-plus, and then you can make your main battery connection. The reason for this is there's so much wound copper and capacitors that require some amount of charge to operate. And when you first make this main connection, there's a huge inrush current from your batteries, and the safety systems in the lithium batteries will actually lock out the batteries. So what we've done is we've had this cold start button, which is just a resistor that's on the back of the board here, which allows you to charge the multi-plus slowly. So like I said, you only need to do this when you do not have a shore power connection, because the shore power can easily supplement the pre-charge. So the main battery switch goes on after we've pre-charged our multi-plus. For the most part, you shouldn't be toggling this on and off. If you're using the trailer throughout the season, just leave it on. This is you only really disconnect your batteries in the winter or when you're winterizing your trailer, and that's when you should be turning this to the off position. We'll talk about the solar components. Up here is our WAGO collectors. So we have our solar panels from our roof that run into our WAGO connection points here. Also, your solar port will run into this. From here, it goes into your solar disconnect switch. So this is your panel disconnect, and you can disconnect your panels if you want to service them by just pressing this button, and it'll flip the little manual reset down, meaning it's disconnected from your solar controller. This is set at 50 amps, so it provides some production as well. But when you're operating, you want this closed, and then charge current from your solar panels will then run through into your MPPT solar controller. The solar controller is 150. What that means is it'll do up to 100 volts and 50 amps. For our 12-volt battery systems, it'll do about 700 watts, is what the capacity is of this MPP 150. Over here, we have our DC disconnect. This disconnects power from our multi-plus to our DC distribution panel. And it's also set on a 50 amp resettable breaker. So if any of your DC loads exceed 50 amps, this will pop automatically, providing protection, and can be switched on or manually reset and removed by pressing this button. Down here is your shunt. This measures the in and out current on your battery bank. This allows you to give an estimate of the remaining capacity in your system, which will change accordingly depending on what loads you have running. This can be all viewed up on your display that we talked about previously. And the reason this functions is because of the Servo GX, where all these devices have outputs which run into this main Servo GX, which is a communication hub, and then outputs to the display where you can monitor your system and then find the status of all your components. Thank you for watching our Victron Power System overview, what we call here at Escape the Zap Pack. If you have any questions, please reach out to our Escape Trailer representatives. And if you have any comments, comment below on the video. Remember, Escape Trailer is built for you.